Welcome students. Today we are going to start object-oriented programming in C++. Object-oriented programming is the most important concept in software development. So first understand what is object-oriented programming. Object-oriented programming is a programming paradigm based on the concept of objects. Objects are the entities that encapsulate data and behaviors. Think of a real world example like a car. A car has a properties like brand and colors. These are the data about the car. And action like starting of the car and stopping of the car. These are the methods or functions of a car. In object-oriented programming, we define these objects using classes which act as a blueprint. In simple words, you can say classes are user-defined data types. Objects created from these classes interact with each other to perform different tasks. Object-oriented programming provides many benefits like modularity, code reusability, data security, ease of maintenance, and scalability. C++ is a powerful language that supports both procedural and object-oriented programming. It was designed to bring the object-oriented programming principles to C programming, making it more versatile. It provides features like classes and objects, encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, and abstraction. This is an introduction to object-oriented programming language and why C++ is a great choice for learning and applying OOP concepts. In the upcoming videos, we will learn all the concepts of object-oriented programming in C++ in details. Welcome students. In this video, we are going to learn a fundamental concept of object-oriented programming in C++, that is classes and objects. Class is like a blueprint and an object is an instance of that blueprint. A class defines the properties and behavior of that an object can have. For example, an animal class can have attributes like name, species, and age, and methods like eat and speak. Let's start with the definition of the animal class. We will use this class to understand the concept of classes and objects in C++ programming. So first, how we can create a class in C++. First of all, type the keyword class and then type the name of the class you want to create. In this case, I am going to create an animal class, so I type the name of the class animal. And then open and close curly braces and there will be body of the class in these brackets. Body of the class will contain the attributes and the methods of the class. For example, an animal can have name, species, and age. These are the attributes of this class. So define the attributes for this animal class. First, type the public format specifier. We will learn detail in these format specifiers, but for now you must know that public format specifier is a specifier where the attribute declared can be accessed inside and outside of that class. First, define a attribute for the name of the animal, so string name. Then declare the attribute for the species of the animal. Also declare one more attribute to store the age of the animal. So age will be in the integer form 2, 3, 4, 5 in this way. So int age. This is a simple class animal containing three attributes: a name, species, and age. Once we have defined a class, we can create instance of that class. These instances are called objects of the class. To create the objects of the class, the process of creating objects of class is very similar to declaring or creating the variables of built-in data types. Like if we want to create an integer variable, we type the data type of the that variable and then type the name of the variable. But if we want to create the object of a class, first type the name of that class. This is the built user defined data type animal, then type the name of the object you are going to create. So let's name this animal1. Now we created an object animal1. We can set attributes for this object using the dot operator. So let's assign the values for this animal1. There will be value for name, species and age. So we can assign values to these attributes using the dot operator. First type the name of the object we created, then type dot, and then we can access the public attributes of that animal object that we have created. Animal1 dot age, name, and we can set the name of this animal1 object. Let's set name is equal to kitty, and then we can also set the species animal1 dot species and set this equal the species of this animal1. This is a cat, so set this equal cat. Also we can set age of this animal1, so animal1 dot age and set this equal 2 years. Now in the main function we have created an object of the animal class, and then we have set the attribute values for this object. We can also get these values of these attributes of the object. Like if I want to print the values are stored for this animal1 object, so if I want to display the name of this animal1 object, so cout name, and name is animal1 dot name, and it will display the name of the animal1. Let's run the program, and you can see it displayed name kitty. Similarly we can access other attributes. Like if I want to get species and age of this animal, so cout animal1 dot species and type species is, and then type the animal1 dot species, and this will display the species of the animal1. Also display the age of the animal1, so type age is animal1 dot age. Let's run the program, and this program will show the all the values of attributes of animal1 object, and you can see it displayed name kitty, species is cat, and age is 2 years. Once you have defined a class, you can create any number of objects for that class according to your need. For example, create another object of this animal class animal2, and you can set data for animal2 attributes. So set animal2, copy this, And this the name of animal 2 is puppy. Species of animal 2 is dog. And the age of this animal 2 is 3. Now you can also display the data of animal 2. So if you want to display the data of animal 2, here type cout animal 1 data, and let's display the animal 2 data. So cout animal 2 data, type this in double quotation marks, and display the name, species and age of the animal 2 object. Animal 2 dot name, animal 2 dot species, animal 2 dot age. And now we created two objects of animal class, and we assigned the data for the attributes of animal 1 and animal 2, and then we are going to display the animal 1 attributes and animal 2 attributes. Let's run the program. There is an error. There is a typing mistake. Animal 12 is not defined, so type animal 2. Now run the program again. And you can see it displayed animal 1 data, name kitty, species is cat, age is 2. Then it displayed the animal 2 data, name puppy, species dog, age is, and there is a garbage value for the age. As we have not set the age for animal 2, now it will generate the correct output, and now you can see it displayed the age of animal 2 is 3. This was a brief introduction to classes and objects in C++ programming. Stick to this course and you will learn all the concepts of object-oriented programming in C++. Welcome students. In this video we are going to learn about an important concept in object-oriented programming, that is constructor in C++. A constructor is a special type of function in a class. Its primary purpose is to initialize objects of the class. A constructor is automatically called when an object is created, saving us from manually initializing each attribute of that object. Some characteristics of constructors are: it has the same name as class, it does not have any return type, even not the void. So let's create the constructor for this animal class. So below the attributes, here type the name of the constructor, and you know the name of the constructor is same as the name of the class, and the constructor has no data types, and even there is no void data type for the constructor. Then give this the parameters for the setting the values for attributes. So there are three attributes of this animal class, so give this three parameters. First is a string n for name, string species s for species, and int a for age. And in this constructor set the values of these attributes, and these attributes will be given the values that we will provide as argument to this constructor function. So set name is equal n, and set species is equal s, and set the age is equal a. This is a constructor of the animal class that is directly initializing the values of the attribute. So now if we create object of this class in the main function, we will not need to manually initialize the attributes of the objects, like initializing the values of animal2 objects and initializing the attributes of animal1 objects. But this time when we declare the object, we will give the values of these attributes at the time of declaration. This is called the initialization of the object. So first type the value for the first attribute that is given in the animal constructor. So for the animal1, the name is kitty, and the species is cat, and the age is 2 years. Now if I remove this, animal1 dot name is equal to animal1 dot species is equal to animal1 dot age is equal to something, and I initialize this animal1 using the constructor, this will work similar to the initializing of manually setting the values, but it saves time and save us from manually setting the values for attributes. Similarly, set the values for animal2 object using the constructor. The name of the object is puppy, animal2 name is puppy, species is dog, and the age of animal2 is 3. Now we created two objects using the constructor and initialize them using constructor. And if I run the program, it will work like similar to the initialization that was manually assigning the values to attributes. Let's run the program, and you can see it displayed the same output: animal1 data name kitty, species cat, age is 2, animal2 data name puppy, species dog, age is 3. So this is the constructor. A class can have more than one constructor, and this is called the overloading of constructor, or we can say it constructor overloading. Constructor overloading means a class can have more than one constructor. For example, if we create an object and we initialize it without giving the values for different attributes, there will be constructor for constructor of that type. So name that animal, as the name of the constructor is similar to the name of the class, and there are no attributes for this constructor, sorry, no parameters for this constructor, as we will create an object and we will not initialize it attributes on the time of declaration. So in this case, set the name of the object to unknown, set the species of the object to unknown. It will tell us that the name, species and age attributes are not certain for this object. Similarly, set the age is equal 0. Now if we create an object 3 of type animal and name this animal 3, and we does not give this object the values for different attributes, now this will run the constructor animal without parameters and will store the attributes values, default values for the attribute name unknown, species unknown, age 0. Let's display the data of this animal 3 object. Animal 3 data, and display animal 3 dot name, display animal 3 dot species, and display animal 3 dot age. Let's run the program, and you can see it displayed. Animal 3 data is name unknown, species unknown, age is 0. So a class can have more than one constructor, and this concept is known as constructor overloading. And this is all about constructors in C++ programming. With this knowledge, you are ready to create and manage objects efficiently. Welcome students. In this video, we are going to learn about an essential topic of object-oriented programming, that is object functions, also called member functions. In C++, a function that belongs to a class is called member function or object function. These functions define the behavior of objects, allowing them to perform specific actions or manipulate their own data. Let's create a member function to display detail of animal objects. So we will use this function to display the details of the objects of this class. So below the constructor, define a method to display the details. So name this display details, and in this function display all the details, all the attributes of this class as cout name is the values that will be stored for that object in the name attribute. Then display the cout species, species name, sorry, the value stored in the species variable. Similarly, display the age of the animal object. So display the age is the data stored in the age variable. This is an example of member function that will display the details of this animal class objects. Then we have no need to display the objects using the manually accessing the each attribute, but we will simply call that member function for any objects to display the details of that object. For example, if I want to I want to display the attributes of animal 1, so I will call that display details methods for the animal 1, and it will display the information of the animal 1 objects. Let's call that function animal 1 dot display details. We can call the member function for any objects of the class. This time I am calling this display details function for animal1 object, and it will display the details of animal1. Let's run the program, and you can see it displayed animal1 data. Name is kitty, species cat, age is 2. Similarly, you can call this function for the animal2 object to display animal2 details. Animal2 dot display details, and now this will display the details for the animal2 object. Let's run the program to check, and you can see it displayed the details for animal2. Animal2 data is name is puppy, species dog, age is 3. Keep in mind, once you defined a function in the class, that is called the member function, or you can say it the object function. You can call this function after defining for any object of that class. For example, I call the function for the animal1, and then I call the function for animal2, and it will work fine. This is how you can create and use object functions in C++ programming. Object functions are the backbone of object behaviors in object-oriented programming, so make sure to practice of creating and using them. Welcome students. In this video, we are going to talk about a key concept in object-oriented programming with C++, that is getters and setters methods. These methods are essential for controlling access to an object's private attributes while ensuring encapsulation. So let's start with what getter and setters are. In object-oriented programming, getters and setters are special methods used to access and modify private data member of a class. They are part of the concept of encapsulation, which ensure that the object that is hidden from direct external access and can only be modified or retrieved in a controlled manner. So getter is a method to retrieve the value of a private members of a class, and setter is a method to modify the value of a private member of a class. So let's repeat. Getter is a method to retrieve the value of private member of a class, and setter is a method to modify the value of private member of a class. So anytime we will use to assign or set a value to the private member of a class, we will call the setter method, and anytime we will need to get the value of a private member of a class, we will call the getter method. Let's create getters and setters method for this simple animal class. So first make the data members of this class private, so they cannot be directly accessed outside the animal class. Let's see here, create an animal of the class animal1, and after this, if you want to set the value for private attribute of this object directly, let's try to assign a value to private attribute name of this class. We cannot access these attributes as type the name kitty, and run the program. You can see it displayed an error. We cannot access the private members of the class outside the boundary of this class. So for the private member, we need getters and setters method to set their values and get their values. So let's define the getters and setters method for these attributes name, species, and age. As these attributes are private and we cannot access them directly in the main function, so define the public getters and setters methods for these attributes to set and get their values. First define the public getter method. So first define the setter method for these attributes. So create a method void set name, and this is a setter method for the name attribute. It will take an argument of type string and will assign this argument to the name attribute. So in the body of this function, set the name attribute is equal name this attribute, this parameter n as n for name, and this is the setter method for name attribute. This method will take one string value as an argument and will store this value in the name variable name attribute of the object. Similarly, define the setter method for the other attributes. Here write a comment that defining the getter method, setter method. Now define another setter method for the species. Name this set species, and this will also take one argument of type string, that will be species of the animal object, and in this function assign this argument value provided to this function to the species attributes. So here type the name s for species and set species equal s. This is the setter method for species. Define one more setter method for age, set age, and give this a parameter of type int. This will receive an argument of type integer, let's say a, and it will store this integer value in the variable in the attribute age of the object. So set age is equal a. These are the getter method, and we will use these method to set the attribute values for different objects of this animal class. So let's in the main function create an object of the animal class animal1, that is the name of the object. And if you want to set the values for the attributes of this object, you need to use these setters method. For example, if you want to set the name of the animal1 object, call the set name method. So animal1 dot set name, and give this an argument string that will be stored in the name attribute of this variable. So give kitty, and this will store this value in the name attribute of animal1 object. Similarly, you can call animal dot set species method to set the species attribute and give this the species of this kitty animal. Kitty is a cat, and this method will store this cat string value into the species attribute of this animal1 object. Similarly, you can set the age of animal1 object by calling the setter method set age and give this one integer value of type int, and it will store this integer value into the age attribute of this animal1 object. Let's run the class, run the program. There is an error. Here call the method animal1 dot age, And now run the program. Sorry, animal1 dot set age, and now run this program, and it's successfully executed. Its set is the values for the attributes of object animal1, but it does not display it because we have not displayed the values. Now we will define getters method to access these values. So in the class, go to the public section and define the getters methods for these attributes. So defining the type commit here, defining the getter methods, and first define the getter method for the name this get name, and it will return the name of the object. So here type return name, it will return the value stored in the name attribute of the object. Similarly, define the void get species, and it will return the value stored in the species attribute of the animal object. So return species. Similarly, define one more getter method to get age. So name this get age, and this will return the value stored in the age attribute of the object. So return age. These are the three getters methods that we will use to get the attributes of these objects, attributes values of the objects of this animal class. Let's call these to display the details of this animal1 object. So cout name of animal is, and then call this getter method to display the name of the animal1. So animal1 dot get age, we call the getter method, and it will display the age of first call the get name method to display the name of the animal, then call the get species method to display the species of the animal. So call the animal1 dot get species method, and it will return the value of species attribute. Similarly, display the age of this animal object using the get age setter method. So type age of animal is animal1 dot get age, and it will return the age of this animal1 object. Let's run this program to check the output. There is an error. Keep in mind, getters method are not of the type void. Their type must be the type of value that they are returning, as name is the type of variable of string. So give this getter method for name the data type string and it will return the value of string. So get cpc is also a returning a string value, so give this the data type string, and set getter method for age variable is returning an integer value, so its type must be int. Now run this program again and you can see now it displayed the name of animal is kitty, cpc of the animal is cat, age of animal is 2. In this video we learn about the getters and setter methods in detail. This is a simple class of animal for which we created the setters methods set name, set species and set age to set the value of three attributes of the animal class that are private. Then we define three getters method to get the values of private attributes of this animal class, and in the main function we created an animal object of animal class and then setted the values of attribute using the setters method, and then we displayed the values stored in the animal one object attributes using the getters method. This was all about getters and setters in object oriented programming with C++. Getters and setters are used to manage the private attributes in object oriented programming. Welcome students, in this video we are going to learn about a core concept of object oriented programming, that is inheritance in C++. This powerful feature allows us to create a hierarchy of classes and reuse code effectively. Inheritance is a mechanism in object-oriented programming where one class known as the child class or derived class can acquire the properties and behaviors of another class called parent class or base class. This allows us to reuse code from the base class and extend the functionality by adding new attributes or methods in the derived class. In this program we have a animal class. Now let's create a derived class for another animal category which inherits from the animal class. So let's create another class named cat that will inherit from this animal class. So after the definition of this animal class, create another class with the name cat, and if you want to inherit it from the animal class, then after the name of the this class you are going to create, type the colon and then type the public keyword and then name of the class from which you are going to inherit this class. So I am going to inherit this class from the animal class, so type the name of the animal class, and now this class cat is inheriting from the animal class. So after this, define some new methods in this class. First declare some attributes of this class and then the methods like getters and setter method for that attribute. So to keep in mind one thing, that if you want to assess the attributes in inherited class or derived class, you must place the attribute set in the protected format specifier. If you place these attributes in private format specifier, they cannot be inherited to the cat class, but protected attributes are inherited to the derived class. Now this derived class cat will be able to access these uh, will be able to inherit these attributes in protected format specifier. So first here define attribute sound for the cat class. So in private format specifier, type string sound, and this will store the sound of the cat animal, and after this in the public format specifier, create getters and setters methods for this sound attribute. So first create a setter method for this sound attribute. So void set sound, and give this a string attribute and name this so for sound, or you can simply say s for sound. And in this function, this setter function for sound, set the sound attribute equal to the arguments provided to this function. So set sound is equal s. This is the setter method that will set the value for the attribute sound of this cat class. Now define a getter method for this sound attribute. So sound is a type of string data type, so it will return string. So define a function of type string and name this get sound, and in this function type the statement to return the sound of the object. So return sound, and this will return the sound attribute of the cat class. Now you can see we have derived a cat class from the animal class, and this cat class contain only one attribute, that is sound, and only two methods for setting and getting sound. But this class is inheriting the attributes and methods from the animal class, so we can use these attributes and methods with the cat class. Let's create an example object of cat class to check how inheritance work. So create an object of cat class. So first type the name of the class, then type the name of the object you are going to create. So name this cat1, and see here there is no attribute for name and species, but still this cat class is inherited from the animal class, so we are able to use the name, species and age attribute of the class, and the getters and setters method related to these attributes. So set the name of the class, name of the cat. So cat1 dot set, and you can see we can use the methods from the animal class. Set name is defined in the animal class, that is the setter method for name, and we can use this with the cat class, as the cat class is inherited from animal class. Cat1 dot set name kitty. After this, set the species, set species, and species of the cat is cat. After this, cat1 dot set age, and you can set age to 2 years. And now these are the three methods, setter method, that are defined in the animal class, that is a parent class, and we are using these methods with the object of derived cat class. And there is one method, that setter method, that is defined in the cat class, that is for setting the sound of the cat object. Cat1 dot set sound, and give this the sound of the cat, that is meow. meow meow, and it will store the sound of the cat object, sorry, cat animal. Similarly, you can use the setters methods of the parent class, getters methods of the parent class with the objects of a derived class. In this way, using the setters methods, we have set the name, species, age, and sound of the cat object. Now we are going to display these information of the cat object using the getters methods. So see out name of object is, name of animal is, or you can say name of cat is, as this is the object of type class cat. And then get the name of the cat object, cat1 dot get name. As you can see, get name method is also defined in the animal class but not in the cat class, and we are able to use it due to inheritance. Similarly, print the species of the cat, species of the animal, that is the cat1 dot get species. Also get the age of the cat, so age of the cat is, and get this age using the getter method, so cat1 dot get age. And you can see these are the three methods: getter method, get name, get species, get age, that are defined in the animal class, but we are able to use them with the cat class that is derived from the animal class. This is the mechanism of inheritance. There is one more attribute of the cat class, see out sound of cat is, cat1 dot get sound. Now this get sound method is defined in the cat class. Let's run this program. There is an error. There is a mistake in calling the method. So type the open and close small brackets after calling the method. Here also type open and close small brackets. Now let's run the program again. Again there is an error. There is a typing mistake. We have typed count instead of cout. So now run the program again. And you can see it displayed the name of cat, kitty, species of the animal cat, age of the cat is 2, sound of the cat is meow meow. So in this program we created an animal class containing three protected attributes: name, species, and age, and then the getters and setters methods for these attributes. Then we derived a cat class from this animal class that will inherit the attributes and behaviors from the animal class, and we use them to see the working of inheritance in C++. This is brief explanation of inheritance in C++ programming. We learned how to create a base class, extend it with a derived class, and use the features in practical example. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. Also share with your programming fellows. If you have any question, ask below in the comment section. I will be happy to answer them. Thank you.